Hello and welcome to another instalment of Cab TV, the series that gets local MPs into the back of this gorgeous cab and puts your questions directly to them. This week we're in my home city of Peterborough and I'm very privileged to be speaking with Labour MP Andrew Pakes. Let's see what he's got to say. Andrew, welcome to Cab TV. This is brought to us by the Community Exchange Hub. Fantastic initiative. It's bridging the gap between Muslims and politics. Just remind us how long you've been the MP now in Peterborough.
I'm just coming up to a year, so I feel probably my apprenticeship year is over. I've learned a huge amount of things about it. Every month has been learning something different.
Yeah. If you had one message to give to Peterborough, what would that message be?
What does Britain need most of all? Britain needs a bit of common sense, a bit of good neighbourliness and a bit of kindness. And if we can bring kindness back into public life. And one of the things that worries me, we live in a really angry society now. Mm-hmm. You know, the drive of bullying online, social media, attacks on each other, the lack of kindness we have. We've seen, you know, the racist attacks, the things pushing on media last year that said we might have some of those far-right extremists coming to Peterborough to protest in areas. I will defend the brilliance of our democracy, which is we can disagree. We should disagree. We can have a right old ding-dong. That's what democracy should be about.
Of course.
But we're not enemies, we just have different points of view, and we sometimes lose sight of that.
And your ear is on the ground right here in Peterborough. You hear from your constituents. What are they telling you?
People always want more, and that's the dynamic it should be. When people voted for change last year, I think people felt, you know, the country was broken. I make the case that we're seeing some green shoots, but people really want me to have less talk and get on and deliver things, and that's very precious on my mind. It gives me fire in my belly, so when I get down to Westminster I can put forward what we need in Peterborough, but also put the pressure on ministers to say, come on guys, we've got to get on and deliver for people here.
And Andrew, where does that passion stem from?
What really got me involved in politics was my mum. My mum was a cleaning lady. What always struck me as a young child and my mum talked to me about is lots of people would just walk by her and not pay her any notice because she was a cleaner.
Right.
And that sense of some people's jobs are more valued than others, I find that it's not just offensive, I just find it fundamentally wrong. Anyone who goes out for work, who seeks to strive to better themselves and look after their family, needs respect. And respect shouldn't just be about your salary or if you're the CEO of a big company. It should be the pride you can get in having a good job and the opportunity to do something. Okay,
interesting background. Thank you for telling us about that. Does that background help you to connect to some of your constituents, I guess, better than you would if you hadn't had that experience?
I hope so. I hope it gives me empathy. I think all of us are, could be on the up or on the down. And I think we need to have a compassion to help other people out, whatever situation.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone did that, we'd be in a much better situation, wouldn't we, frankly? We're in quite an affluent part of Peterborough right now as we're driving through. The poorest households, though, conversely, have been hit hard by the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
In fact, around 50% of British Muslims are in poverty. How do you as MP try and tackle the cost of living crisis in Peterborough?
I will always say fix the schools and give children a better chance to get on. I'm aware too many young people are turning up to school hungry. So we've got starting next year, an extra 16,000 children in Peterborough will get free school meals.
Right.
We've got the free breakfast clubs coming to all primary schools. 3 of them have got them already in the city. We've also got a package where we put up the minimum wage and living wage, £12.21 an hour to kind of lift wages for people.
Yeah.
Look, my big passion before I entered politics and now I have this privileged position as MP is around apprenticeships and opportunities for young people. One of the most damaging things that happened to Peterborough in the last decade was the number of people starting an apprenticeship declined. And we've really got to reverse that. And I'm 100% dedicated that if we can give young people the opportunity to shine, find something they enjoy that they're good at and give them that apprenticeship or skills opportunity, we can transform their lives but also transform the city as well.
Okay, Andrew, we have literally just turned up at the cathedral.
Look at this. Look at that beautiful, beautiful building. It is really it is the heart of the city, isn't it?
It really is.
But equally, it's the mosque we've got with the green tops and things. We have some brilliant, wonderful facilities in this city.
How in touch are you with the Muslim communities?
This week I've been at the joint mosque group, which brings together the main mosque, but also the council, the NHS, the police, the fire service. We had a great piece of work this week looking at what we can do about Islamophobia and ending some of the aggression, violence, challenges people have for being disregarded or treated differently because they are Muslim.
Yeah, you mentioned Islamophobia there, of course. Very recently, Peterborough City Council adopted a definition for Islamophobia. Would you see that definition now going some way to helping us really tackle that issue that we saw that was rife last summer up and down the country?
Yeah, look, I really hope so. Sadly, some parts of the country, people are now contesting the idea that we need specific work to tackle Islamophobia. We've seen other politicians talking about banning the burqa. But look, I think Peterborough's done an amazing thing. We're a UK leader. The fact that we've got a city-wide definition, it's not a council document, it's owned by everyone. And people have a right to freedom of religion and to go about their daily lives without harm or damage.
So there's, Andrew, the big green dome that you referred to earlier on, of course. Another jewel for Peterborough is the Fazana Medina Mosque.
Isn't it majestic? Isn't it wonderful to have it in, and you can see it from, as you go down the main road. It's a vantage point. It gives a real brilliant counterpoint to the cathedral as these majestic community-based buildings right in the heart of the city.
Yeah. These questions, as you probably know, Andrew, they're from the community, right? So these questions are really important to the people that you serve. It's a known fact that health and social inequalities exist, which negatively impact Muslims. What would you advise local institutions on how we can mitigate these inequalities? And likewise, what would you advise Muslim communities to ensure they get the services and support available to other communities?
Absolutely. Look, we need dialogue, don't we? The best people to talk about the things they need will be the communities affected. And I think we've got some good listening, but I would like to see the NHS, the council and others really working with the Muslim community, going into some of the effective areas of Millfield and other parts of the city, and designing those services together. Things have changed for the better when people have worked together and got together, whether that's tackling racism or getting investment in public health, or saving the Lido that we're about to go through.
We're about to go through,
nearly 2,500 people signed the petition and got involved saying we want to keep this beautiful asset we've got and invest it for the future. That wasn't me, that wasn't a single politician, that was a community coming together.
I fancy a dip right now. It's quite warm in the back of this cab, isn't it?
It is quite warm, but I've made a promise to the people of Peterborough they will not see me in my bathing trunks in public. I feel that is one thing the public do not need to see. My knobbly knees are my business, they're not public property.
Fair enough, that's great. Let's talk about crime. Sadly, as an issue we must talk about, the rate of violent crime in Peterborough is way above the national average. What measures are you taking to firstly improve the safety of the city and secondly to prevent youth offences?
Firstly, there's actually tackling the challenges of antisocial behaviour and the risk that people perceive that's happening to them. And we've got to do some of that by really getting back to what I think call neighbourhood policing. What my mum and dad would call Bobby's on the beat.
Bobby's on the beat.
Bobby's on the beat. And we've been working really, really hard to do that. And I'm really pleased that the police have just confirmed we're getting an extra 10 police officers this year for neighbourhood policing in the city centre. It isn't enough, but it's a down payment. It's a start.
Okay. What is your biggest ambition for Peterborough as an MP?
My biggest ambition, I suppose, I want to tell our story better.
Okay.
I think one of the challenges Peterborough has is that not enough people know about us in a good way. And I think that's because we don't tell our story well enough. Yes, we've got challenges. Yes, we've got too many young people growing up in poverty. We've got too many low-paid jobs. But the way to get investment, the way to get businesses, the way to get people coming in and investing in improving our city is for people to know the things about the city that me and you know, the things we've seen out of the cab this morning while we've been going around. We are a story that's half told. So when I go to Westminster, it's putting Peterborough on the national stage. Here we are, just coming up here. You can stop anywhere around here.
So this is your stop here, Andrew.
My stop, ready for the next part of my day. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
It's been absolutely
as ever,
wonderful.
Amir.
Thanks so much,
Thanks very much for
Andrew.
looking after me.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Well, that was Andrew Pakes, MP for Peterborough, in the back of the cab for Cab TV. Fascinating chat. My thanks to Andrew for his time. It's all about engagement, it's all about integration, and clearly a lot of passion coming through from Andrew. Like, subscribe, follow us on social media, and make sure you get involved.